Boom. Bob here from Hot Track RC. Today we have a truly epic unboxing. It's the team associated RC10 4-wheel drive. Is it a re-re? Is it a retro buggy? Is it a new release? It's definitely awesome, so stick around! What has AE done? This isn't a re-re. It's an entirely new buggy. It's as if we traveled back in time to 1985 and we watched Jay Halsey run his prototype four-wheel drive car at the IFMAR World Championships. And at the end of that, AE decided we're not going to partner with Yokomo on four-wheel drive. We're going to develop our own four-wheel drive buggy. This isn't a re-release of Jay Halsey's buggy from 1985. This is several generations later. This is early 90s. This is what this car would have evolved into had they continued to develop it. Is it good? Will it win at the track? No one knows. This is the first anyone's seen it. This is just kind of mind-blowing. So let's tear into it. Associated really pulled out all the stops on this buggy. It's got B74 front end parts, the caster blocks and steering components. It's got a new front stealth transmission. It's got the V2 slipper clutch. That's the first time we've seen that in a re-release since the 2014 Worlds car. It's got modern ball cups, so those aren't popping off all the time. New shock towers to allow for the belt. It's got unique chassis stiffeners that prevent the chassis from flexing like a standard gold pan does, because that might cause the belt to slip a cog. It's got 3/16" rear CVA axles like the 2014 Worlds car reissue, so different rear wheels are going to be used on this. It's got 2.2" wheels in the kit, so you can use modern tires. It's got hard anodized shocks like we saw on the team car, and full ball bearings, and it's the first gold pan with a factory lipo mount. That's kind of cool. So the box is beautiful, as we've seen with previous re-releases. I would say the finish is a little bit flat, except for the wreath, which is very high sheen on that. It's got some cool art on the sides. Some design cues on this side, and on the other side more history type literature here with some cool pictures, and Jay there with the original prototype four-wheel drive. The ends are, of course, the standard graphics, and then the bottom here also has some cool breakaway pictures of the design, which is really pretty awesome. This is the first time we're getting a close look here at this four-wheel drive design. So let's break into it. Comes with the standard factory seals, and we'll break them one at a time. 1, 2, and up here in front. Get this one. Okay, here it is. Never seen this before. Boom. All right, a lot in here. This is a fully packed box, which is super cool. So, what do we got? Okay, right on top, I see some cool stuff. Now, we're looking at the CVAs here, and since these are rear suspension components, this must be the rear. And you'll see some blue ano here. That's kind of new for these kits. This is the setup for the 3/16 axles, and this is different than what we've seen in the re-releases so far that have the stepped axles that are like the first gen gold pans. We see ball bearings in here, super cool. The control arms, pretty much standard fare. These look like Worlds car hub carriers, so that's a little more advanced. Like we said, this is kind of early 90s tech. So really good stuff in here. Super excited there. All right, here's battery box. And this has what I was talking about, these adapters to fit a LiPo shorty pack well, with quick release buttons. So, boy, that's going to make things a lot easier because there really hasn't been a nice solution on these re-releases so far. Okay, here we go. Rear transmission, stealth transmission. Look at all those bearings. Loving that. And we've got the housings. We've got some extra parts here. These are new parts for the four-wheel drive car that are going to have to do, I think, with the belt system. Here's the Octolock slipper pads right there. Okay, we see the diff parts. Now, look, there's two diffs here. That's because the front and the rear use the same diff design. So we've got those components in here. And some new shafts, an extended shaft, because that belt has to fit onto that shaft. And some new components here, too. Again, having to do with the belt mounting. So, super cool stuff here. I mean, this is new stuff. All right. Wheels and tires and some other goodies here. Got the spur gear cover, dust cover, wheels. Okay, now, see the wheels here? We've got an interesting combo. We've got pins in the back. And if you can see this, this is hexes in front. So again, these I believe will be basically B74 front wheels. I haven't verified that yet, but they've talked about the front end being based on the B74 and it's got the hexes. So that's what I'm expecting there. We got some nice spike tires, sort of medium spikes, which look very runnable. So you could definitely use these tires. We'll see. Compound feels like medium, not too hard. So that'll be interesting to check out. Some shims. Wonder if those could have anything to do with the in-play in the transmission that we've had to deal with on the team car. Here are the belts. Now, I am intrigued. Okay, it's one belt. It just looks like multiple belts. Okay, it's one belt that's coiled up. Kind of an optical illusion there. It really looked like three. So now we see the bulkhead, which this bulkhead is a little different. It doesn't have the receiver for the battery like we've seen in the past, historically, because the battery doesn't sit here. The battery goes transverse in this. And I should have pointed out, this car comes with two battery cups. That's the first time we've seen that on a re-release too, because the battery goes transverse. So that's because of the belt, I think. It doesn't really work to go longitudinally with a belt drive down the center. So now look, we've got carbon fiber transmission support. That's a nice little upgrade there. Again, going with the theme of a little more modern design. And you'll notice that the support tower here is a little bit different looking. So then we've got the nose plate and different bell cranks. So the servo on this car goes transverse. Different mounting for the servo, whole different setup, different bell cranks. But the nose piece looks to be typical of a gold pan. So that's what we got there. And now we get into the front. So now look at these components. Definitely never have seen these come with a gold pan before. B74 components. And of course, the longer arm design from the early 90s, like the team car. We've got some blue ano in here. Some hats for the caster setup in here. So again, more modern front end. And these are CVAs again on the front. So CVAs all the way around with 3/16" axles. But the fronts are hex drive instead of pin drive. So really interesting. Let's see what we got here. We've got more modern ball cups. So this is right off a modern tree here. This is going to solve a lot of problems. Okay, so this is the only thing that I kind of wish could be different because these are metric. All the ball studs have metric threads from what I've read. Not my favorite to mix inch and metric fasteners together, but that is happening. I mean, it's not really something unique. American Automotive has had mixed fasteners on their cars forever. So that's what we're dealing with. So just be aware. May need some mixed wrenches as you're doing your assembly. Shocks. All right, this should be pretty much what we've seen on the team car. I'm not expecting anything different here. We've got the hard ano shock bodies, which is super cool. Now there is one different thing here. These are the gold-plated caps. The team car came with black caps. Why did they do gold-plated here? Obviously, they could do anything they want because this has never been made before. This car is completely new and unique, so they're going with gold caps on the shocks, so that's what it is. All right, so that's all the standard stuff in there. Now, this is an interesting one too, I think. This is the original ProTech body. Now, this body obviously came in the first gen 1984 gold pan, and this is a pretty good reproduction of it. Definitely has some different minor subtle differences, but anyway, why go with an original ProTech body when this is supposed to be an early 1990s car? They surely would have changed to a different body by then. The Viper body or something. So why'd they do this? Well, I think because they wanted to have a clear visual link back to this being a gold pan. They didn't want it to look like some car that somebody might not know what they were looking at. They wanted to make it really clear. That's my theory. I don't know that for a fact. But the box art is also the original color scheme. Why do that? Again, wrong vintage. I think they wanted that clear connection back to being a gold pan. So nobody's going to be confused. This is a four-wheel drive gold pan. But they went to a newer style, more modern wing, which I think is a good upgrade because the original wings are kind of useless. So mixing a newer style wing with the original ProTech body. I'm good with that. It's an interesting choice though. All right. Tools that we've seen many times before, and some servo mount stuff. So they give you the servo horns this time, which I know a lot of people are going to appreciate. People have asked which servo horn to use on various cars. So this takes a guesswork out, and it's also got another blue anodized ring to support the backside of the servo and look cool. So we're all set there. Now, the chassis. Okay. I don't know that I've seen a picture of the etching yet on this. Maybe I just didn't notice it. So this says four-wheel drive, RC10, and it's probably going to be covered. I'm thinking the servo, I don't know. Will the servo fit here? And the battery is behind it. I don't know. Maybe it's right in between. We'll have to see. Anything else to call out about this? I'm not seeing anything except maybe this. I see different holes. So yes, I see that. Yeah, definitely. There's no threaded hole on this pan. I take that back. There shouldn't be. Scratch that. No, but there's more holes here than a standard gold pan. So I guess this is going to be a unique four-wheel drive chassis then, even though it's a gold pan. Okay, now we're getting down to the manual. The manual has the box art, and I think this is a little more complete manual than some that we've seen. I can get it out. Why do I say that? Well, I mean, it certainly looks very much like what we've come to see with these Riris, but I notice that there are some instructions here that have been lacking in some of the previous releases, telling you which way to put the differential in the transmission case, how to adjust the differentials, and some more instructions. So that's nice to see that they're kind of picking up some of that information and adding that in. And looks like a good manual so far. We've got all those special goodies shown here that we're going to assemble. Here is the servo going in sideways and wheels, and then we get to the body, and there it is, the original 1984 design body with a newer wing. And we've got some setup sheets, which are unique to this car, of course, so it's nice that they created those and put those in here. All right, what else? We've got the antenna, of course, and graphics. Let's see what we got on the graphics. Definitely interested on that. Okay, the decal sheets. All right, wow. We're going to race this car, and we got all the numbers. That is the first time that Associated has done that on a re-release. So pick your numbers. They're all here. Then we've got some of the body decals that we would expect. Nice large American flags. Window nets. That's cool. And some more graphics. Some of the color scheme that goes on there. And some other cool accoutrements. And then we've got just the literature. Flyer for other cars, window masks, so we got those, and of course the antenna. I personally probably won't be using that, and double-sided tape. So there it is. All right, let's give some credit where credit is due here. AE hit it out of the park with this, at least on face value. I mean, this is a fantasy car we never thought we would see. It takes us back to the golden age of RC. We're going to get to build this and drive it like it's the first time we've ever seen it, which it is. And what are we going to find? The excitement is killing me. You know, but there's been a lot of cars that have come out in the last year and change. And, you know, I know some of us have kind of complained, and, you know, I've thought this as well. Why are they doing a green pan? Why are they doing a metallic version? And, you know, that's fine, but look what else they've put out. They've put out some major milestone cars, like the original RC10 Classic, the RC10T, that is an awesome truck, and the team car that just came out. These are really important vehicles that we're getting to build now, and it's a real treat, and, you know, I thank AE for doing this. So my advice is belly up to the bar and fill your plate with what you like, because there's something to appeal to everyone on this list. So if you're a completist, I feel for you, because this is definitely going to break your wallet. But can we complain? I just don't think so. It's just too awesome. I wish it were coming out a little slower, but you know what? The fact that it's happening at all, that's what counts. We're going to build this car soon, so enjoy, and we'll see you next time.